We've finally got our first looks into the new Gears of War game, and you're probably in one of three positions. You're either incredibly hyped, or you wish they continued off the Gears 5 storyline instead, or you're excited but still on the fence and scared about the possible outcome. Even though this was a reveal trailer to generate hype, it opened us up to the kind of direction we're going towards. The biggest thing you could pull from the E-Day reveal is the nostalgic tone we had from the originals. And this is incredibly important, as the main missing piece was always the atmosphere of the newer titles. It felt more rubbish, downgraded, and didn't pack as much weight, stripping a lot of the identity straight away. And now, there's a really good chance we're getting all that back. It's been a while with Gears of War, and for me personally, it has slipped away the most out of any franchise, as it's not as easily accessible and the tone dialbacks have really lost my connection to it. Gears of War as an entire game, and not just the single player, was always looked at as this dark, grounded, and intense game. Intense meaning that the gore was satisfying and felt good to chain in game. Every blow dealt to your opponent was some of the best dopamine rushes you could have. I never got that much within Gears 4 and 5, even though the movement and gunplay felt a lot smoother and refined in very good ways. But as Crocat displayed years ago, the differences in the weight of Gears was just too drastic that it took that satisfaction and made it a worse experience. But unlike other multiplayer games, Gears of War's roots within storytelling impact the franchise entirely. You have a story that isn't so dark and brutal, well then it will 100% reflect in the multiplayer aspects as well. Gears of War E-Day seems to grasp the older tone that made it iconic 2 decades ago, and even the developers are coming out and saying that. So it's no happy accident. They acknowledge this and are writing with it. This franchise is pretty much ride or die with its theme, the identity. If you can't respect what made it beloved, well, it probably won't sit too well with everyone. You have to make it brutal. There has to be weight to the gameplay. You have to feel like the characters in your story are some of the only people you got left in this very dark and grim world. The Brothers to the End tagline embodied the culture that the game had going. You have to be close to these guys. And luckily, we already know we will be. Marcus and Dom being back as a young duo, I just know that automatically tugs on every single fan's hearts already. Yes, this can be viewed as all nostalgia traps, but you can't deny that there is untapped potential we haven't seen with this era in the Gears universe. It wasn't just made up for the sake of making a prequel. No, that's always been in the lore and always one of the biggest moments we hardly ever got to experience. Seeing the downfall from the very beginning is going to go bonkers, and you get that from the ending shot in the reveal trailer. Mind you, this captures the beauty and destruction we've seen from the first 3.
This is horrible. Oh my god.
If they sunk Tolan, Montevado, and now Ilima, and they all surround Jacinto.
Seeing your world completely collapse before your eyes, being on a side of the war where it seems you won't win, is always a sight to behold. The nostalgic Mad World cover fits perfectly. When watching the first ever Gears of War reveal trailer, you were in a world of hopelessness, and that's exactly what we're going to experience again. If you get those vibes, there's a real good reason to get hyped again. I also wanted to dive deeper into the brutality of this. This is just a reveal trailer at the end of the day, so maybe it won't reflect in gameplay, but it should, considering this is a time when the COG had no experience in fighting this type of enemy. The developers also acknowledged that they wanted to make the Locust feel like terrifying monsters, almost like how Gears of War 1 introduced them to us. The standard grunt of the Locust army, the drone, overpowers our badass hero Marcus Phoenix quite easily, tosses him around, inflicts severe pain, and shows us how hard it is just to bring down one drone. Now imagine getting outnumbered by them and then going against even more terrifying creatures like a berserker. Showcasing this strength they have sets them up to shine in this game as the big bad monsters that will create this dark tone. Basically, they aren't no pushovers. These are the monsters that almost made humanity go extinct. So the grounds are set. We have our terrifying enemy, strong characters we are close to, a dark haunting tone, and a much larger world that isn't completely destroyed quite yet. The source material here is going to dictate how much easier it is going to be in order to develop a great game. The fact that we're going back 14 years before Gears of War 1 to experience the day the Locust emerged from their underground home has incredible potential. This might be the most action-packed Gears game we've ever seen. The grand scale they could put this story in is huge. Since this is a prequel, it also opens the perfect opportunity to port over all the original Gears of War games into one collection, which I do dearly hope they execute on. There is real potential for this franchise to shoot back up into the hearts of many, but I just pray they play their cards completely safe. If they bundled E-Day with the collection of all the other games, I could only imagine we will for sure have something everyone will enjoy at the very least. I am really curious about the Gears of War 6 storyline, but at the same time, I did not expect this decision to be made and was quite shocked to see the route they went. Shocked in the best way possible. I had lost my hope within Gears of War ever being great again. The only hope I had was replaying the already established classics. The balls they had to keep the cliffhanger going and kept to the side, I think will be an ultimate victory. I just don't think the way Gear 6 was set up had the best potential nor the best marketing potential. I do like the story, but it just isn't as deep as the one we had before. The scale was much larger, the war was deeper and more impactful, and honestly, we had better characters and villains. I really think Gears of War needs a powerful statement to make, and this was the best possible choice they could have ever pulled. As a fan of the series from the very beginning, I have not felt this good about a new game since Gears 3. I am letting all the hype get to me way too much thinking about all the possibilities. I've only seen 2 minutes of this game and I am almost entirely sold and ready to give this another go. I am scared of some of the rumors, like this possibly having no multiplayer, which I really hope that gets shut down soon. I couldn't imagine they abandoned that with such a huge opportunity to bring back the magic of this franchise. But the reason I am entrusting this game is because of the tone and material they have to work with. And even though I thought the reveal for Gears 4 was dark and very well executed, this time around it's a safer option, but also the developers are intentional with their design here. I think they do understand what needs to be made and are steering in the direction we all need.